Okay, this is a story I called Journey from the East to the West. It's a family story, kind of like when we moved from North Carolina to Washington. And so this happened on October 11th, 2011, about 8 years ago. So some of my relatives from Washington flew down to North Carolina to help us drive and move our things from North Carolina to Washington. So we had two cars. One was a U-Haul truck and one was a Sequoia, my dad's Sequoia. And in the Sequoia was my mom and the rest of my siblings driving with my uncle Short, my uncle Kwa, and my grandpa. And in the U-Haul truck was my uncle Shua, my dad, and me. And so we were driving. We left that afternoon on October 11th, and we were driving. And that night, my uncle Shua made a comment about how the truck was feeling a little weak and how it wasn't able to accelerate really well. And so when we got to a rest stop, my uncle Shua mentioned what he noticed about the truck to the rest of the family. And the rest of the family was just kind of brushed it off and said, "Oh, maybe it's just like the weight of all the stuff in the truck that's making it really slow, really weak, making it feel really weak." And so they decided to just keep driving because the truck is still able to go speed limit, and that's all we really needed. And so the second day of driving, we were coming close to this. The Sequoia was way ahead of us, so we weren't right behind the Sequoia because the Sequoia was faster than the truck. And we were in the U-Haul truck. I was in the U-Haul truck with my uncle Shua and my dad, and we were about to cross this really narrow bridge, a two-way lane narrow bridge, and there was an oncoming semi truck. The same time we were about to cross the bridge, and as soon as we crossed the bridge, the semi truck hit the the left side of our rear view mirror, and our side view mirror fell off. It broke off, and as soon as we passed the bridge, we made a stop, and we called the cops, and we drove back around to go and see if we could find the mirror. We couldn't find the mirror, and the cops came, and we explained the situation to them, but nothing really happened. So we drove the U-Haul truck back to the gas station to find a mirror, and we taped just a mirror we could find at the gas station. We just taped it temporarily onto the side of our truck, and we just drove that, and then we called the rest of the family and told them about what happened. And so we all decided to get a motel and sleep there for the night and figure out what we could do. So they met up, the parents met up. The parents met up, and my dad decided that we were going to get a new truck because the truck was feeling weak anyways. They said that the truck was feeling weak anyways, and the mirror was already broken off, so they're going to get a new truck. So the next morning, my dad calls for a new truck. And so we got the new truck, the new U-Haul truck, and then we were just waiting for the people to come, the people from the U-Haul company to come and help us move our stuff from one truck to another truck. And so what my uncle Shaw and my grandpa did was they decided to drive the rest of the family, my mom and the rest of my siblings, to Washington first. So they left first, and me, my dad, and my uncle Kwa decided to stay and move all the stuff from one truck to another truck. And so we were basically a day behind. So after moving all our stuff from one truck to another truck, we started driving. And my dad noticed that the truck felt the same. And so it must have not been that we had a bad truck or anything, or the engine was weak. It was probably just all the stuff we had in our truck that was making the truck feel really, really heavy. And so we continue on our journey, and on that third day, that night, we got a call from my uncle Shua, and he explained to my dad that they had gotten into another accident, and a deer had hit their car. And so my dad was all stressed about everything, and we were also a day behind of our schedule. And so what they did, they just had to clean up all the blood and all the meat that got into the car, and they just kept on driving. And so we were just following behind, a day behind from where they were. And so we just kept on driving, and then we managed to finally eventually get to our destination in Washington on the 5th day. And so they got there, my siblings and them got there on the 4th day, and we got there on the 5th day. And I'm just glad to say that everyone got there safely. And that was my journey from the east to the west.